Welcome to the ESI Africa studio, broadcasting from Ennet Africa. Today I am speaking with William Liabunya, who is the CEO of the electricity generation company in Malawi. Welcome, William.
Thank you so much.
So, William, you are here at Ennet Africa and you are attending the Utility CEO Forum. And I'm sure that within the forum you have been sharing with your peers and your colleagues the successes of your company. So what stands out for you in terms of the successes that you have had in the last, say, 2 years?
Yeah, thank you very much. The biggest success that we're talking of now, which is so fresh, is the restoration of Kapichira Power Station. We lost Kapichira Power Station in 2022 due to Cyclone Anna. It was washed away, the intake, the whole intake, the dam, other than the actual intake structures, the dam got washed away. And from January 2022, it was not operational until when we started the works in December last year. So we have worked for almost 4 or 5 months. And on the 5th of April, we got 2 machines back online. And 5 days later, we got another 3rd machine. And just on the 10th of this month, we got the final machine back online. So that's a success story that we can talk of as of fresh. So we have had blackouts, we have had load shedding all along, but from the April moving forward, we are having no blackouts, and I think that's a success story.
That is a fabulous success.
And more especially that all the works, we did it in-house, our own engineers and our own, all the system support and the contracting was done internally with our own people. And I think that's a story that has been so huge in our success latest for the past 5 months. In addition to that, we've been having some projects that we've been carrying out. I think 2022, we commissioned a 19.1 megawatt power plant, Tedzan 4, which we constructed through financing of Japanese government, JICA. And a year before that, we also commissioned, we have islands on our Lake Malawi. We have islands that have had diesel power generation since 2003, when we commissioned the first diesel generator. So it was every week we had to haul diesel across the lake, and it was tedious, where you have to have drums from the ship and then on the islands. So it was a tedious until 2018. We decided that let's put up a solar. So we put up a solar with a battery. And now, even the time that we're having load shedding on the main country, the islands were having 24/7 electricity. So this project was done internally using our own resources. Of course, we had a contractor from China. And now the island is fully powered. And there's a lot of excess power. We put in a 1.3 megawatt capacity. But the consumption is just about 0.4 of a megawatt. So the excess is there that people can invest. One can put up a hotel and what. So that, I believe, is one of the main success stories, other than the rehabilitation. You know, when we started, our plant was quite old. You talk of plant that was commissioned in 1966 with no major rehabilitation until 2017. We had this other power station, which was commissioned in 1992, 93, with no major rehabilitation. So we have done these 2 power stations, rehabilitated, modernized, and even operated. The other one was 24 megawatts, now it's 35 megawatts. The other one was 52 megawatts, now it's 62 megawatts. So we added 10 megawatts, and we added 11 megawatts on the other one, and modernized it, full digital control and remote control. So these are some of the successes that we can talk of in our company, which is now just about 6 years old. Yeah.
So that is quite a lot that you've undertaken, and the progress is showing. So let's talk about the just energy transition. How do you view that, and what is your company doing to accommodate what needs to happen?
Yes, indeed. We had our strategic plan developed in 2018, just a year after we started. And in it, we had these renewable energy, where, as I said, we started at the islands. We put in the 1.3 megawatt solar PV with battery storage. But on the mainland as well, we had also put a 50 megawatt solar PV plant with battery to a size that is yet to be determined. And now we've just signed a contract with a contractor for an EPC contract. The feasibility study has just been concluded. So we're going into the main project where we're looking at starting with 20 megawatts and we roll over. However, we also, in the strategic plan, put in a project for a coal-fired power plant, which I know is in contravention of what is being promoted now. But when we look at our country, is almost 90% hydro-based. And with the current climatic changes that are going on, we have experienced the worst drought and we've experienced the worst floods. So we have noted that the hydro itself does not provide total safety of supply. So we thought of diverting to another source that could provide the base load, to also provide a platform for renewables to sit on. So we currently have 400 megawatts, almost 400 megawatts of hydro, 391 to be specific, of hydro. But there was a time from 2017 to 2019, we had a worst drought in Malawi. We could only generate almost 100 megawatts, 110 megawatts. And there were those rolling blackouts of 20 hours, 18 hours in a day in various areas, and we had nothing to do. We brought in diesel generators, which are very expensive because you have to generate the revenue from the hydro so that you feed it to the diesel generators. But now the revenue source has dwindled to that almost less than 1/3 of it. Now you need to provide to 70 megawatts of the diesel generators. You couldn't match. And governments these days cannot provide subsidy to energy supply. So it was a thing that the country needed to think twice to say, what else can we do? Now, in that analysis, we have coal reserves. We have next door in Mozambique, close to the border, coal reserves. And we said, why can't we put up a coal reserve to provide that security that we need as a nation? So that's another project that we're working on. We know it's not easy to sell it to strategic partners, but we're determined that we should bring some coal base load of about 300 megawatts to supplement this one, while as well also looking at some renewable. We have another 350 megawatts hydro that we're also working on with support of the World Bank. And we believe that this 350 plus the 400 that we have now, we put together, the renewables will have a good platform in which we can have, if we talk of 20% of 1,000 megawatts, we could get to about 200 megawatts of solar. Currently, we have solar of about 100 megawatts, which is IPPs. And we, however, feel that we need a good platform, a base load for these solars to continue coming in, that we have a balanced proportion of the renewables against the fossil fuel power plant.
Yeah. I think the key message is that it is a balance and that the energy transition is something that you are working towards. We are working towards
it. We are working towards it, but for us to achieve it, we need to have also a balance of the base load that we can have. But it's something that we have been working on, I think, for the past 10 years. We've been promoting. And as I mentioned, our strategic plan is having a highlight of renewables. We have created actually a section in our projects and department that is looking at renewables.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, William.
Welcome.
And to our viewers, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.